Naftali Moser.
Sorry, one second. Good evening. My name is Naftali Moser, and I'm the Executive Director of Yaffed, an organization that is advocating to improve the secular education in ultra-Orthodox and Hasidic schools, also known as yeshivas. I've been here several times, and I suspect that everyone on stage knows the problem very well, but I'll repeat it briefly. Tens of thousands of children attending Hasidic boys' schools are being denied a basic secular education. Boys under the age 13 receive only 90 minutes of secular instruction and only in English and math. No other subjects are taught. Boys ages 13 and up receive 0 secular studies. No English, no math, no science, no social studies. In July of 2015, after we sent the Chancellor a letter from 52 yeshiva graduates and parents of current students, the Department of Education announced they're launching an investigation. 9 months later, we came to this body to demand answers on the progress of the investigation. The Chancellor responded saying, "A decision will be coming shortly." A month later, at an oversight hearing at City Hall, the Chancellor told Councilmember Daniel Drum, who's also the Education Chair Committee, that she'll send him a report in a month or so. We're now 9 months after that exchange, yet no report has been produced. So I don't want to conclude that the Chancellor has lied, so I would like to get an explanation as to what is really happening here. And I'll yield the rest of my time to get an explanation.
Thank you.
No, sorry, I'm still going.
If you want to keep speaking, you can. You have another 20 seconds.
I'll let the Chancellor respond. Did you know that by 2030, 30% of Brooklyn's youth are going to be Hasidic? They're not learning English, math, science, social studies. They've never learned about slavery, never learned about American history. What does this mean for society? How is the Department of Education letting that happen? And they're getting hundreds of millions of dollars of taxpayer money going to private schools that aren't educating them, and they're not even supposed to get that money. So why is the Chancellor not responding, and why is she not producing a report? Why can't we expect that?
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Miriam Moser.
I'm going to follow up on Naftali Moster's speech. I was actually going to yield my time to the Chancellor as well. We need a lot of answers. Naftali has been reaching out to the Department of Education. I believe it's over 6 years now since his first correspondence, and we still don't have answers. And in those intervening years, tens of thousands of Hasidic children have gone through that school system without receiving a basic education. In those years, many Hasidic children have graduated, barely literate in the English language. They can't get jobs, so not only is taxpayer money poured into the school systems that's not really being used effectively, but it's also being poured into all the public assistance they rely on afterwards. And that could have been helped if 6 years ago someone had done something. For over a year, maybe for about a year, we've been coming to these meetings. So everyone on this panel has heard this issue countless times already. The Chancellor, we've tried to reach out to directly. We've tried to reach out to others in the Department of Education. Like Naftali said, we've gotten many broken promises at this point, but no change. There were some attempts at change or promises of change, but this year, when the promised changes were supposed to occur, we still haven't seen any increases. It's still the same hour and a half of just barely any English and math for only some students in some grades. No grades were added, no subjects were added. So what is this amounting to? To us, it's amounting to nothing. It's tens of thousands more students to graduate illiterate, not knowledgeable about other cultures, not able to interact with others, to communicate effectively, to get jobs, to be gainfully employed. This is shameful. This is deplorable. Chancellor, your job is to oversee education. You're paid a living to care about these children. I'm not paid to care about these children, but I care about them. It's your job to give us answers, and you're not doing that. What are you doing in your job? What are you doing as Chancellor?
Abigail Beatty.
Thank you to all the members and to the Chancellor for your attention this evening. My name is Abigail Beatty, and I'm also here to speak on behalf of Yaffed. Unlike my colleague, I had the privilege of completing kindergarten through 12th grade in New York City public schools. I have never doubted the strengths of our enormous and unique school system, and I know that our schools have the ability to act as equalizers and to uphold the highest standards of fairness and of transparency. As a Jew and as a native New Yorker, I feel deeply invested in both the vitality of the Jewish community and in our schools and in our city's democratic institutions. For this reason, I am personally and profoundly concerned with the status of secular studies in Hasidic yeshivas. I am disappointed and pained by the neglectful inaction of the Department of Education and of the City of New York on this matter. It is completely inconceivable by any measure that tens of thousands of children in New York City go without instruction in core subjects such as English, math, science, and history. This staggeringly inadequate education places very severe limitations on Hasidim, both personally and professionally, and jeopardizes the sustainability of New York's vibrant and historic Jewish community. Judaic subjects in Orthodox schools will and should always be primary, and I honor this obligation and this tradition. We are only asking for basic standards in secular education. Hasidic children need to finish yeshiva with adequate spoken and written English skills. Ask yourselves, what could be the earning capacity of somebody whose schooling does not even prepare them to pass a high school equivalency exam? According to New York state law, if a child attends a non-public school, the Board of Education of the school district in which the child resides must be assured that the child is receiving an instruction which is substantially equivalent to that provided in the public schools. The school districts in which Hasidic children reside know very well that the yeshivas do not provide anything close to a substantially equivalent education. And still, Yaffed was promised an investigation by the Department of Education in July of 2015 and is yet to receive a report or to hear of any improvements made in the schools.
Thank you.
How long can the city ignore this burgeoning educational crisis?
Thank
The
you.
Orthodox community and all New Yorkers deserve better.
Thank you.
Shatera Weaver.